Welcome to Business Talk, presented in collaboration with the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, from the heart of southeastern Ohio at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Our goals are simple: promote the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, as well as advocate local small business and their support organizations. More importantly, promote Southeastern Ohio as a wonderful place to live, explore, and learn. There are many different ways you can find us. The University of Rio Grande Cable Access Channel 17, live online at blogtalkradio.com, and on YouTube if you are unable to catch our show live. Introducing our co-hosts, Jason Winters, Mike Thompson, Patrick Dengel. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
Pat, you know, this is kind of a bittersweet show.
Yes, it is.
This is the last broadcast for Blog Talk Radio from this studio.
Yes.
So
there'll be 2 new locations in the next, hopefully, 2 years. So this building is going to be renovated, so I have to relocate to the library, and that'll take me 3 weeks maybe, hopefully less. But
well, I have volunteered Jason to be willing to carry over all the equipment from this studio over to the new studio.
Good, I'll need a pack mule.
I haven't told Jason yet.
Okay.
But I'm quite sure he's ready and willing to come there and say, what do you want me to carry out?
Yeah, you need to stretch out that Achilles, don't you?
moving right along, I would like to welcome our guest today, Dr. Darlene Ringhand. She is a colleague of mine here at the University of Rio Grande. She is the MBA director, as well as the chair for the Emerson E. Evans School of Business, which is our business school here at the university. And she is the owner of State Street Manor.
Bed and Breakfast LLC.
There you go. Darlene, welcome to the show. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
I am the chair of the Emerson E. Evans School of Business. My husband and I have been in this in the hospitality business for, I'm ashamed to say, 30 years. We owned a motel, a 30-room motel for 22 years in western Colorado in the mountains. And when we moved to Gallipolis, we thought it was a logical step to open a bed and breakfast, so that's what we decided to do.
You know, I've been watching a TV show about those kind of things. Bates Motel?
Yeah.
We're not going to go there.
And now, for all of those people out there that are looking for a really good bed and breakfast in Gallipolis, she is the only bed and breakfast in Gallipolis that serves farm fresh eggs.
Where does she get the eggs from, Jason?
From higher ground.
She gets them from a young entrepreneur that is a junior in high school by the name of Jacob at Higher Ground Farms.
And they are the best eggs ever. Our customers rave about them.
Well, you know, you've hit a really good point. We're coming right into the tourist season, and we're coming into the fact that many of us are wanting to go see other different places. Wanda, my wife Wanda, and I, we have been to several different bed and breakfasts, and they have been much better than a regular hotel or motel.
Are the rates usually lower or higher?
In one particular place, either. it was lower. On another place, it was higher. It just depends upon the location and the different things that you're looking for. But the atmosphere is fantastic. And I've had a chance, as Mike and Jason, to look over the website, and wow, whoever has done your website is fantastic.
Thank you for the compliment. I am the webmaster for the website. The one thing that I'm sure if you've looked at bed and breakfast, the one thing that's really important is to be able to have a lot of those pictures so that guests can see what they're actually going to have. Many times, you know, it's kind of hard going into it when you have just a black and white picture, and it's, you know, really, really difficult. So it works out better when the customers can actually see, oh, this is the backyard, this is where I'm going to have breakfast in the morning. Ooh, that's what breakfast looks like.
And that's originally what started, like, Howard Johnson's getting ahead back in the 50s, is you could, and any chain restaurant. You know what to expect when you get there, so the pictures aren't very important. But with a home-run business, or motel, hotel, bed and breakfast, the pictures have to be very important.
Like you mentioned earlier, you don't want to show up and be at the Bates Motel.
Right.
There was one in Missouri I was really worried about.
Well, it is interesting. In your particular bed and breakfast, you named the rooms from the different plants.
Yes.
That were native to Gallipolis. And I couldn't decide whether I wanted to stay in the red bud room or the garden room. And it really is nice pictures that you have.
Oh, thank you. We have 4 rooms, and the red bud is kind of our high-end room. It's the former master bedroom for the house. So it's quite nice. It's huge, actually, and our home was built in 1937. So for
it doesn't
the bedrooms,
look that old.
No, yeah. For the bedrooms to be that big, too, really good size. We have king-size beds in 2 of our rooms. We have the garden room has 2 queens, and then we have a very small room that's we call it our cozy room, that has just a full-size bed. So, yes. We were going to name our rooms after our grandchildren, and we thought, well, we only have 2 and we have 4 rooms, so what are we going to do?
Have more grandchildren.
Yeah, and we did. Yeah, we got more grandchildren, but we finally decided that maybe just, after plants or trees or whatever in the area.
This is sort of a nice mix. First of all, Jason's over part of the hospitality program here at the University of Rio Grande.
Oh, yes.
And you're very actively involved in the business and the hospitality. It sounds like it's so easy to run a hotel and so easy to run a bed and breakfast.
It's just like having family over for the night, right?
That's right.
Yes, that's exactly what we consider
Except
it.
they pay.
And that's the good part. Yes. It is. Some people ask us, how can you do this because there are strangers in your house. But bed and breakfast guests are a lot more discerning, and they're not we're going to check in at 10 o'clock at night and be out by 6 kind of traveler. They're the ones that are taking the time to stop and smell the roses and relax. And part of the whole bed and breakfast movement is that it's got the ambience of, relaxation.
You're looking forward to the experience and not just a place to lay your head.
Yes. Yes, and we're on a corner. The front of our house and the side of our home is, on a street corner. But we have a wonderful spot out back that's just like a little oasis. So, it's a real quiet, nice. It's very nice. Jason, you've been back there. It's really, really nice.
It's right next to the old O. McIntyre house, right?
It is, which is on the National Historic Register. Yes.
Now, I've always had in mind boarding houses where individuals. What's the difference between a boarding house and a bed and breakfast?
That's a good question. Normally, a boarding house had extra bedrooms, and we had extra bedrooms, which is why we opened a bed and breakfast. But they also served, I think, 3 meals a day. And a bed and breakfast does specifically serve breakfast, although there are some properties that do other meals. We just do breakfast.
Would a boarding house be more a place where you live and not visit?
Yes.
Are there boarding houses anymore?
I don't think so. I think you would probably refer to those to a person who maybe they would rent another room from you more so than a boarding house.
So when my wife threatens that she's going to send me to a boarding house,
she's serious.
I don't have to worry.
She's sending you back in time.
Maybe you're confusing that with the woodshed
Oh.
and getting a board.
Well, of course, I always listen to everything that is said, of course.
So, Darlene, how long have bed and breakfasts been around?
Oh, I don't know. I think they probably trended up, I would say, in the 1960s and 70s. When people started traveling more with the interstates, I think that produced the first mom and pop, what did they call them, lodges, I think?
Or
travel lodge or something.
Travel lodges. Yeah. And so from that, then I think what happened, and especially in large cities, there were large homes that people couldn't afford to maintain. But if they turned them into a bed and breakfast, they could afford to pay the tax bills and actually maintain the homes. And I think a lot of large homes turned into bed and breakfast just out of necessity more than anything else. So,
what do you get more, business travelers or sightseeing type of people?
Good question. I think it's probably about 50-50. We do get quite a few business travelers, and you wouldn't think this, but we get a lot of women travelers, business travelers. And that's because they feel a little more secure in a home than they do in a motel.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we do
Not walking across some dark parking lot into an anonymous room where nobody knows.
Yes. They know that someone is watching the house and taking care of it, and it's kind of like staying in your own home. It's just your home away from home.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happens if I wanted to stay 3 nights?
You could.
But the meals primarily are just for breakfast
Yes.
on a bed and breakfast.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, where we're located, we're right downtown, and there are 3 restaurants within walking distance. We're about a block from the Gallipolis City Park, which is beautiful. And so we've got a really good location. When you talk location, ours is
And
very
that is
good.
right on the river.
Yes.
It absolutely
High
is.
River.
Yeah.
So if, breakfast is the only meal that's being served, you can get down the river and catch your own.
There you go. Bring your fishing pole.
Are there other ones in town?
No?
Okay, I thought if there are, they don't have your location, because if there's anything going on in town,
It's
that's
downtown.
just right there.
Yes. In the summertime, there's probably something in the park every weekend.
Mhm.
I think one of our most fun guests, we had the Civil War enactment
Mhm.
group, Union soldiers in,
Right.
and they got into their costumes before they went to the ball, and they took their pictures in front of our fireplace.
Now, did you have both North and South living together?
No, that these were Union soldiers.
Yeah, this is 91st Infantry that we have up here, which is the group that came out of Gallipolis,
Was that right?
and that is a union. And it
But if
was
you're going to do a reenactment, you need both, right?
they just do a camp. They don't enact
okay.
battles.
They do
Okay.
shoot their cannons, though.
Yeah,
Our house windows just shook.
They
the first year.
demonstrate their weapons, but it's not like they have 2 different sides. There was no battle here, but there was an encampment.
Yeah.
And it was weird. I went down south to southern West Virginia, and there was an encampment of Southern troops. I felt a little bit nervous being a Northerner.
That you do bring up a good point that many times a little bit smaller communities have unique kinds of things.
Mhm.
Like for instance, Gallipolis has a variety of, as you said, over the summer on the weekends they have a band that plays, and they have the recreational festival
Yes.
and a variety of different things. They even have a farmers market that was there last year.
It will be there every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1. You can stop by and say hi to Jason Winters at highergroundfarms.com.
Oh, are you
And
there?
can you get farm fresh eggs there as well?
You will be. Jake is actually in the process of getting his mobile food license, so he will be able to sell those eggs at the farmer's market. But, starting usually in mid-June, 1st of July, farm fresh produce. Right now, a lot of plants and flowers. But, and of course, we're just one vendor. There are several vendors that are there, so.
Very much so. There's a cheese vendor.
There
There's,
is Laurel Valley Creamery.
Right,
Makes some
right.
fantastic local
That's right.
cheeses.
Ooh, we'll have
That's
to
right.
stop in.
There are fruit and vegetable. There's a variety of different ones. We have a very active farmers market program that intermixes with some of the extension programs, etc. So it's if someone has not been in a farmers market, I think they should. And that's a nice thing. You are located right in that vicinity where
It's right down the
They can
street,
walk
one block.
Absolutely.
down the street.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, Darlene, you are very active and involved here at the university, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So, who's running the bed and breakfast? You want to tell us a little bit about this guy you've got running the bed and breakfast?
My husband Ron helps me run the bed and breakfast. Actually, he runs the bed and breakfast. I simply get up in the morning at 5:30 and prepare the fruit. He does all of the cooking. He does all the laundry. He does the biggest share of the cleaning. I just detail. But it's been fun to set it up and work on it.
So he fixes your breakfast every morning?
Well, I like that, but when we don't have guests, no, it's mostly yogurt. He does a really good job. The funny part is when we purchased our motel back in '83,
Before the turn of the century.
Okay.
He said, "You have to take care of the desk. I'm not going to do that. I'll take care of the books. You take care of the desk." 'Cause I was younger. I was just really bouncy, and he thought I would be perfect on the desk. Well, when we left 22 years later, I couldn't drag him off the desk.
I can see that with Ron. Yes, I can see that.
So you have had 30 plus years
Yes, in hospitality.
In
yes.
hospitality, and for 22 years over in Colorado.
Yes, Western Slope.
How did you end up in Gallipolis?
Well, it's a long story. I won't go into it. But I was actually looking for work. I was working at the community college there in Craig, Colorado. And I interviewed for positions all over the country. I was up in Seattle. I was in
And you had just
Madison.
acquired your PhD.
Well, no, the PhD
No?
came after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just sent off an application to the University of Rio Grande because they were looking for someone with my skill set, teaching business and information technology. And they called me and said, "We'd like to do a phone interview." And then they did the phone interview and they said, "We'd like you to come visit." And I did, and they offered me the position. So that's how we ended up here. Everyone always looks at me funny, including my students, and go, "You left Colorado to come here? We love it here."
Well, you know, that's sort of the unique thing. Almost everyone that teaches in the School of Business has owned their own business.
That is right, yes.
And that practical application, that practical experience. And suppose you had a student that said, "I want to own a bed and breakfast." What would you tell
Or a motel.
Or a motel.
You'd put a price on it, right?
Yeah.
Because everything's for sale.
Oh, yes.
Maybe not yours.
Right.
But maybe something.
The advice, I really do have some good advice. When we bought our motel, we had no experience. We had stayed out in motels, and that was it. My husband was in management, and I was in management, so two managers, we should be fine with a motel, right? Well, we did. We did really well. In fact, my husband got really good with finance, too. But motels are 24/7, and if anybody would be interested, I would recommend that you shadow a motel owner for a while, just to get a feel for what's involved. Motels are 24/7.
Much like farms.
Yes.
And if you
Or
don't,
children.
Or children, yes.
and if you don't do it, you should have a trusted person.
Yes, that's the
handle.
other thing. You have to have a trusted person. We were very fortunate with our motel. We had a crew that was very, very trustworthy. We trusted them with our children and our motel when we would leave.
Do you laugh at people in Ohio that says the weather changes here rapidly?
No,
No?
because I'm used to it in Colorado.
I
was
mean,
used to
Colorado, I lived in
yes.
Denver, and you could get like 3 seasons in one day, not
Yes.
just a week.
Yeah, snow over the 4th of July. Yeah,
Hmm
we had that. We had, I think the coldest we had was about 42 or 45 degrees below zero. After it gets minus 20, you can't tell the difference.
Yeah, it's just cold.
It's just cold.
I noticed that you have some do's and don'ts that you would probably tell the students or tell individuals that want to start.
Sure, I do. Do make sure that your property is clean. Always keep it clean. Bathrooms especially need to be clean.
That is true. You are absolutely right.
Yeah, because people, when you compare it to a motel situation, you expect a motel to be clean. You expect your home to be clean. If I have someone in my home, I want my home to be clean.
Mm-hmm.
So we spend a lot of time cleaning. Never raise dues. Let's see treat the customer special. They are special. Treat them like your guest. Always be considerate. Many times they'll have special requests. Always do them.
So in other words, you don't treat them like family, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Is it dog friendly?
Not particularly. We have a small backyard that does have a fence, but we do have guests that are allergic to pets,
Oh, okay.
and we'd rather keep that. And we're non-smoking as well,
Okay.
so yeah, that makes a difference. Don't treat your customers poorly, your guests poorly. Don't holler at them or be improper with them.
So you don't do the calls in the morning to get up?
Oh man,
Hey, get down! Wake up!
No, there's a polite knock on the door. It's 8:00.
Okay. Not like mom getting you up for school, right?
No. My husband's mom used to bang the scissors on the radiator, and it went right up the pipe by his bed. That woke him up every morning. No, we don't do that. Never raise your voices. You don't think about this, but if you're in the house with someone else, there are times when, I might like to raise my voice with my husband if he is not doing what I think he should be doing in the kitchen when it's morning and we need to serve. They need to know that you're always getting along well.
They need a tranquil environment.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to let the bed and breakfast idea go.
Why not see that?
You can run a bed and breakfast for goats.
There we go. A barn and breakfast.
Yeah, there you go.
Give you the hayloft.
That's a new concept.
Always looking
New
for
business
new and innovative ideas.
So in running your bed and breakfast, you have the location.
Yes.
You have some experience in running it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what kind of customers you're looking for. How do you market? How do you tell the world, I'm here, come and visit us?
My website.
You have a great website.
Now you get connected with AAA also?
No, not connected with AAA. When I said
or any other agencies like that book?
Yeah, we should be chamber members, and we just have not taken the time to join. It's just right down the street.
Mm-hmm.
There's an Ohio Bed and Breakfast Association that you can join. There is now, and many times, and I haven't discussed this, but in Ohio, if you have 4 rooms, you're not subject to inspection. 5 rooms you are.
That's what I was going to ask next, was this, if there was any, you're serving food, you're having people stay, if there's any sort of, inspections that you would have to.
Not at this time. If we wanted to add a 5th room and have more rooms, we could do that. We would be inspected then, and our kitchen would be inspected as well. Now, the big requirement in the kitchen is a dishwasher that does heat the dishes to a temperature that's safe.
160 degrees, I bet.
Yeah. And that's just a restaurant, I think, a restaurant requirement. Other than that, there are not a lot of requirements for those, for a bed and breakfast.
Because I know I've had friends open up daycare centers.
Oh, yes.
And those are highly regulated.
Yes, exactly.
So that doesn't fall into that same.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I was surprised because we thought it would, and I was surprised at the ease with which we could set it up. We had to pay, I think, a local business license, and of course we had to get our federal ID, which we had with the motel anyway. So those were the 2 things that we had. When it comes to marketing the website, I pay $9.95 per month for my marketing. And that's the extent of it. Now, granted, word of mouth. We are in the Ohio Valley Symphony program because I was their volunteer webmaster for about 4 years. So, the word gets out. We do have a visitors and convention bureau in Gallipolis County. So we contribute to those, to that visitors bureau. And so they do promote us as well.
You paid bed tax?
Yeah, I think the bed tax goes to the convention center.
Yes.
That's where they get all their funding. That's
Yes.
just wondered.
With at least in Ohio, they are regulated similar to hotels and motels, outside bed and breakfast if you pay for something. So
yeah.
What's the one thing that you're really proud of, whether it's running a hotel or the bed and breakfast, that you just lay your head down on the pillow going, wow. And I know you have lots of different unique experiences, etc. But what's the one thing that you're so proud of? And I know it centers around, because we were talking about this before, customers. Bringing customers in. But you were, your eyes would
light up, yeah.
It's like you know the answer already.
Well, I'm not sure where he's going with it, but I know she's really excited about her new cabinets that she's got.
Oh, yeah, my
and her new
cabinets.
kitchen.
Yeah, I know. But it's that customer satisfaction that you were talking about.
It's pretty special. We have a lot of return customers, and we have a lot of customers that come back to us, year after year after year. And we have books in all of our rooms where customers leave comments, and before they come down for breakfast, if they're new, they're like, "Oh, we already read about your breakfast. What are we having this morning?"
Fresh eggs from...
That's right, absolutely.
From higher ground. No, the customer satisfaction, I think, and it is amazing the number of customers that tell us that we're in the right business, apparently. So apparently we are very welcoming to our customers, and that's what's really nice. And they do truly relax when they come visit us.
We only have a couple more minutes, but a couple things that we wanted to also talk about was some of the things that Jason, Mike, and you, and some of the Dr. Sharif is involved with the College of Business, etc. If you don't mind, let's just talk a little bit about University of Rio Grande.
Sure.
And you being a chair, and Jason and Mike.
Dr. Sharif has kept us very busy this year. And that would be an understatement.
Yes, it would. Zach, if you're listening.
We have a new hospitality degree that started in the fall of 2012. That is a partnership with Bob Evans Restaurants. We have just recently gotten approved a certificate in minor in banking. So we have a banking certificate now.
Well needed.
Yes.
Well needed.
Yes. And we have revamped our wonderful MBA program to be even better. So Jason, I will turn it over to you. Do you want to explain how the MBA program is going to work?
What makes it better?
Well, delivery makes it better.
Yes.
We've kind of de-emphasized the
Hot and fresh in
focus
less than a
on
half an hour?
entrepreneurship, even though entrepreneurship still has a very strong part in business, but it's more of a general MBA. So a lot of the capstone project, instead of being focused on building your own business, is more on building your own project. So if you're an executive or upper management in a local business or corporation, you can use a project within that corporation as your capstone. So we're kind of tailoring it to the individual student, which makes it nice.
But you can still do the entrepreneurship kind of deal.
You still can. You can absolutely focus on your own business if that's what you want to. But if you never have intentions of being your own boss, and you want to work for a local corporation, you're currently working for a local corporation, do a project within that corporation that's going to benefit the community. So in other words, you're not working for something that is fictitious.
And you talked about delivery. Is that more online? Is that what you're saying?
It is more online. We're calling it a limited residency. The way we have it set up is if you were to do it part-time, you'd actually take 2 classes a semester. You would meet the first Saturday, and then on the 8th Saturday to finish that first class. When you meet on the 8th Saturday, you're also going to meet for that first meeting of the second class.
Okay, so you're taking one class at a time.
You're taking one class at a time,
but
8 weeks.
sped up, and 2 per semester.
Correct.
Yes.
And so then at the end of the semester, at the 16-week mark, you're going to meet on a Saturday for that face-to-face. In between, you're still having class times, and they're on Wednesday nights, and they're in the format of a go-to-meeting. So it's a video conference, so where you actually get online as a student with your instructor and your other peers that are in the class.
Could you
and you're
go
having class there.
to the classroom, or is it?
No, because the instructor may not be in the classroom.
Okay.
It has the benefit of if Darlene or I are out of town, we can actually log on, and we can be anywhere in the world that has high-speed internet and mediate that class.
Yes.
So it's not only convenient for the faculty, but it's also convenient for the student as well.
Okay.
It allows for that. You're talking about business professionals. Maybe they're out of town that week. Across country doing training or something. They still have the ability to be in class.
Well, as a matter of fact, 2 of the MBA students, one is in Florida now, and one is in Austin, Texas, and they are also very actively involved in the coursework, so it works out really well.
Yeah. One of the main promotional parts for the program next year is that we are actually advertising it for under $20,000 and under 12 months. So it is possible to do it full-time, taking 2 classes at a time, 4 classes a semester.
Okay.
And within 12 months.
And they're pretty easy, breezy classes, right?
No.
I would not go that far. I would not go that far at all.
They're hard.
You got to put some time into it.
Okay. Is it more writing or?
More project-based. A lot of it is project-based.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Let me give you an example. I'm doing international business, and I'm asking my students to research a country every week. And then they can report back on their countries and learn about different countries all in one shot.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Darlene, we're going to have you back on.
In our new location.
In our new location.
All right.
And you can share some more do's and don'ts and different things thank you very much for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Jason.
I'm Darlene.
I'm Mike, and thanks for watching.